Today we find ourselves at the majestic Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, and she's a beauty. As you can see here, she does look like she might be in a little bit of need of a paint job coming up soon. You can see some of the rust and stuff has stained some of the paint, but just look at that beauty. So if you're driving along the coast and you choose to stop here, there is plenty of parking, which makes it nice. So even if you got an RV or a trailer, it shouldn't really be a problem. Over to your right there's a nice little gift shop, or if you've got questions about the lighthouse. This, as you can see, is kind of nice ramped area here, so even if you're handicapped, it's somewhat accessible, which is nice. The restrooms are also here at the front. Then you've got a nice little covered seating area over here if some of your group doesn't want to go any farther than this location. This is a view you kind of get to see from that gazebo there. So it makes for a nice little resting spot there. Dogs are allowed on the premises as long as they are leashed. They are not allowed inside the buildings. So the lighthouse here is not the original, but it's the current one that you see here was built in 1870. So the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse is like 43 miles south of the Body Island Lighthouse, so it's farther north. And then the Ocracoke Lighthouse is farther south, 36 miles. So it's kind of they're stationed along the Diamond Shoals out there, kind of where the Labrador Current comes down from the north and the Gulf Stream is coming up from the south, which made for a very dangerous shoals out on that this lighthouse was built for, to protect the ships. And of course, this section of the Atlantic is considered very dangerous. It was nicknamed the Graveyard of the Atlantic because so many ships went down. So definitely the lighthouses were a part of the shipping and the transportation and things that they wanted to have here to keep everything safe. So as you can see over here, there's the lighthouse keeper's house and some of the other buildings that went along with the lighthouse. They have a nice museum now that you can go into and just learn a little bit of the history and what's kind of going on right now. Some of the history, there's some Civil War history and different things going on with the lighthouse. So there's 257 steps to the top of the lighthouse. So she's a tall thing there. As you can see, we can get a different angle. It had beautiful buildings that went with it for the light keepers. It's got this nice grassy area here if you want to play around or try to get some unique pictures or group pictures. It makes for a nice spot. And of course, depending on what time of the day you're here, you can try to get the sun out of your eyes. So if you do want to climb to the top of the lighthouse, you have to be able to climb on your own. So if you've got kids or young people, you have to be able to climb on your own. And you must be at least 42 inches. There's also a fee to climb it. As you got here, this is inside the keeper's house, kind of in the museum, giving you kind of look, the beautiful wood paneling and things. It really was. I like the light keeper's house. I think it's pretty cool. And as you can see, they got the little bit of a museum set up with the history of the area. So the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse didn't receive its well-known black and white stripe pattern until the year 1873. So before that, they just left it with its red bricks. So it would have looked much more like the Currituck Beach Lighthouse. But they wanted it to be able to be distinguishable and look different, so they gave it that pattern, so even during the daylight it would look different than other lighthouses and be able to be told where you were as you were sailing by. And we've got a little bit of a history along with the World War I and II and things, and about the U-boats off the coast and sinking ships, which is neat history. Then we go down. So the museum is not real large. It doesn't take a lot of time. You kind of go up one staircase, go along the top there, and then down another staircase. And there are some pictures of them getting ready to move the lighthouse, and a chart on that, which is very fascinating, the history on that. So, to preserve the lighthouse and prevent the structure from falling into the ocean, the lighthouse was moved 2,900 feet the summer of 1999. And this project took just about 23 days to complete the move once they got it up on the thing and then moved it away from the ocean. And they also moved the lightkeepers' buildings and the other things and tried to place them in the distance away and in the way it was when it was closer to the ocean. So not only is it the tallest brick lighthouse structure in the United States, but it also got moved, which is a pretty amazing history of its own. I thought this was a pretty cool little thing. So before it was moved, the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse was just 50 feet from the shoreline in like 1980. And as you can see, if you can catch it around dusk, it is gorgeous, and catch that light coming on. Just absolutely beautiful. It also is amazing if you get a chance to view the lighthouse after dark. Unbelievable. And if you're here during the summer months, you might get a chance to hear whippoorwills. I'm going to see if I can let you catch them after dark if you get to come. They're just absolutely amazing. The night sounds with their whippoorwills and the bugs, just incredible. So the lighthouse has a first order Fresnel lens that operates nightly all through the National Park Service. The National Park Service maintains the lighthouse, but the U.S. Coast Guard keeps the light working. And the light can be spotted 24 nautical miles. And in case you don't know what a nautical mile is, it is 6,080 feet, and a regular mile is 5,280 feet. It flashes every 7.5 seconds. And it does a nice swivel there instead of blinking like a lot of other lights. So the lighthouse right now is undergoing renovations. So it's got all the scaffolding and everything. That's how, if you were to go right now today, the lighthouse would look. It's got all the different scaffolding, and they're giving a redoing the insides, redoing like some of the iron work, and giving it a paint job. So it's getting kind of a overall restoration, big job done. So it is not going to likely be able to be climbed for, and probably not until the next summer of 2026 if things go right. And then if everything does go well, we do remember there is a fee to climb the lighthouse now. So, but it's definitely worth, if you get that chance to go. It's definitely worth climbing it and gaining those views. It's beautiful views from the top. But sadly, right now, you are not able to climb it. You are allowed, and they have a lot of the different grounds here closed off. You are still allowed to go to the museum. They do have a back path there that you're allowed to go still, but it's just a different feeling right now than it is when the lighthouse is all in its working and climbing area. Right now you get to see it, but it's not quite the same. Anyway, if you like this video, ring the bell, subscribe, like it, leave a comment. I'll see you next time.